Hello there, fellow Monster Madness ghouls and goblins. You're currently hearing the voice of a girl with no name, and it's here with very, very clear intentions to sound the alarm. Before you listen any further, beware that frightful spoilers and deliciously explicit language lie ahead. For once you find yourself in the midst of those telltale bumps in the night and the haunting howls of host laughter and cinematic judgment, there is no turning back. Choose wisely.
Your own personal mojo, Doc.
Give me that.
Sure. How do you want it? Broken leg? I have a date with a 6-year-old boy. And you have a date with death. So long, John.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monster Madness, a podcast dedicated to all sorts of creature features and beyond. My name is Erica Gwynn, and I'm here to welcome you to the show, as per usual. Joined with me are two men who are definitely good guys. We have Daniel Gwynn.
Good guy.
And Matt Stein.
Real good guy.
The best guys.
The best guys.
As always, before we get into the episode, we have some info to give to you. You can find Monster Madness on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. We'd love if you came and hang out. Wow. We'd love if you... I'm already fucking buzzed. Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
We'd love it if you would come and hang out with us on Twitch as well. We've been really into that lately and love interacting with all of you when we play some games. And by we, I mean Matt. Because Matt is the pretty one of this trio.
He's holding down the fort.
We set the bar real low here.
Well, I gotta. There are a few ways you can support our show if you feel so inclined. For the cost of nothing except a few minutes of your time, you can head on over to Apple Podcasts and give the show a rating and review. That helps others find the show, like you people in Turkey. I don't know how you found us, but I'm glad you did. And it is greatly appreciated by us that the world can experience our show. You can also buy merch on tpublic.com or become a Patreon. All the aforementioned plugs will be linked in the show notes. Without further ado, on this episode of Monster Madness, we will be discussing the 1988 film, or movie, as the discussion was just had of the difference between films and movies, Child's Play.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho! Ha ha ha!
This film was released on November 9th, 1988. It is rated R and has a runtime of 1 hour and 27 minutes, which is right in Matt's sweet spot. Child's Play was directed by Tom Holland, not Spider-Man, some other man named Tom Holland. The story and screenplay was by Don Mancini, John Lafia, and also Tom Holland. The cast is Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, Alex Vincent, and Brad Dourif. Some taglines for the film are, "No one believes the truth or lives to tell it. He wants you for a new best friend. Chucky did it. When people have nightmares, they dream of Freddy. When Freddy has nightmares, he dreams of Chucky."
Why'd they bring Freddy into this?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Like, why not Michael? Why not Jason? Maybe because Freddy was the most recent one to come into the fold?
Okay.
Because Jason was before him, Michael was before that, so Freddy was the newest franchise.
Well, Freddy's also the only one that pertains to dreaming.
Good point.
And that was
Good
the
point.
line.
Also a good point.
But someone get Tom Holland on the horn.
Tom
Let's
Holland.
ask him.
Answer questions.
Not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
Not Spider-Man.
You'll wish it was only make-believe. Andy Barclay has a new playmate who is in no mood to play. This doll is killer. Chucky is one mean SOB. And finally, something's moved in with the Barclay family, and so has terror. That doesn't even make sense. Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Those were very subpar. I was not impressed by any of those taglines. I did like "he wants you" for a new best friend, because that kind of like is off the pun of like he wants you when you like join the military. Like that's how I felt that it was like Chucky, he wants you. Maybe not. All right, Matt, what's the budget?
$9 million.
Damn.
That seems like a lot.
Gotta make all those fake dolls.
Yeah.
I paid special attention to when Chucky was moving, and I'm fairly certain it was just a little person with a rubber mask on.
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know for certain. Like, I didn't read, but that's what it looks like.
This isn't a question of the, this isn't a part of Questions of the Damned, but the kid, Alex Vincent, who plays Andy Barclay, the 7-year-old kid, his little sister played Chucky in some of the scenes where you see him running away. She's just wearing because she was like a little bit younger, but like the pretty much the same exact size as the Chucky doll. They just put her in the good guy outfit, put a wig on her, and just was like, run down this hallway. Hey man, if it works. If it works.
Yeah.
So let's just get into the synopsis of this film. I don't know
Alright.
I don't know how long the Wikipedia is. It's a handful of paragraphs, but we'll break it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not bad. Which is weird because there isn't like a ton to this movie.
There really isn't, but we'll get there. Before I make my comments, we'll
right,
get there.
Right.
In 1988, Charles Lee Ray, a fugitive and serial killer, is chased through the streets of South Side Chicago by homicide detective Mike Norris, who shoots him multiple times and hits him. Charles's accomplice, Eddie Caputo, escapes alone in a getaway vehicle. Charles breaks into a toy store where Mike fatally shoots him again. A dying Charles performs a Haitian voodoo spell to transfer his soul to one of the good guy dolls, causing the store to be struck by lightning and explode. Mike survives the explosion and re-enters the store, only to find Charles's corpse and the doll. Putting a pin in that already. Now, I'll state from the very beginning, I like this movie. I mean, I don't find it scary in any shape, way, or form, but I do like Chucky. I wish they would have started the movie a little bit differently, though, than this random dude just
Running.
not running, but like, okay, he just looks like a 2-bit criminal, and then all of a sudden he's like just whipping out Haitian voodoo. I want a little bit more backstory on that first, because that just seems super random. Maybe that's just me, but that seems like real random. That this criminal in Southside Chicago is like, you know what, I'm a serial killer, but also I really like Haitian voodoo. That's like a deep track.
I gotta find somebody.
Well, yeah, because he had to transfer his
soul.
his soul, or his essence into another being, which is why he was like.
But in 1988, how else are you gonna get your being into a doll? I'm not disagreeing that this makes no sense, that this 2-bit criminal is also secretly like a Haitian voodoo priest. But what better way is there at that time to make that
There
happen?
probably isn't.
Like maybe you could have just started it with where he's already in the doll. We didn't need to see that.
Or like that could have been like a flashback. Like, what is going on with this doll? But it is what it is. The next day, widow Karen Barclay unknowingly buys the doll, now calling himself Chucky, from a homeless street vendor as a birthday present for her 6-year-old son, Andy. That night, Karen's best friend Maggie watches over Andy while Karen works late, because her boss is a dickhole. After Andy's bedtime, Maggie finds Chucky sitting in front of a television tuned to a late-night newscast about Charles Lee Ray. She returns the doll to the bed, but is then hit, very brutally, in the face with a hammer and falls through the window and dies. I forgot how hard he hit her in the face.
Pretty freaking hard if she fell back out the window.
And I outwardly said, oh shit, because it's been a minute since I've seen Chucky, and I'm not like a huge Chucky fan, but like I enjoy the movies. I think they're fun. And that took me aback for a second, because I forgot he literally just wallops her in the face with a goddamn hammer. So police search the apartment, and Detective Norris considers Andy, this little 6-year-old boy, a suspect. Before going back to bed, Andy says that Chucky killed Maggie. Karen tells the police to leave. Now, if my daughter's 4, my oldest daughter is 4, if she came to me, because she loves carrying this little Jessie doll from Toy Story, if she came to me and she's like, Mom, Jessie said that, I want to kill you, I would be so perturbed and horrified. Because, let me just preface, I'm not afraid of dolls. Dolls can be, creepy and unsettling. But, I'm not generally afraid of them. Like, if I saw Raggedy Ann sitting in the corner, I wouldn't be uncomfortable. But if I saw Raggedy Ann, scurry across the floor, then I'm going to shit my pants. But I feel like when you add the child into it, where this little doll is whispering into a child's ear, that's what kind of makes it creepy. Oh, Chucky says you should die. Because, like, the child saying it so innocently, obviously he doesn't say that, but I'm just saying that factor kind of makes it more creepy.
I thought he did a
Right.
good job acting, though, this little kid.
Yeah, for a 7-year-old kid, he doesn't do a bad job at all. You have to, like, I'm trying to think of child actors that have kind of gone on to do other things. So you have, like, Elijah Wood,
Yeah,
Macaulay
he played his
Culkin.
part perfectly.
Yeah, you have these, like, kid actors, and some of them really shit the bed, but others do a really good job. And he really did. He looked terrified half the film, especially, well, I'll get there, but especially when he's in the mental institution.
I thought it was odd. I didn't remember the kid being so young,
Oh, yeah.
which seemed strange, but I get it, I guess.
What do you mean seems strange?
Because, like, he seemed really young, even though he was 6. Like, I have no frame of reference for children.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just seemed really young to be in that situation. I don't know. Like, because in the remake, the kid is 13.
Yeah.
That seems a little more realistic to be in that position. I don't know. It just seemed odd to me.
Okay.
It didn't really take away anything. It just seems odd.
Yeah. I mean, I look at, because, like, our oldest daughter is huge for a 4-year-old. Like, she's very tall. Most people think she's about 6 years old. But obviously she acts like a just turned 4-year-old. So it's hard for people, because, like, when when there's not a demic going on,
Yeah.
when we would be out, people would be like, how old is she? And I'd be like, oh, she's this age. And they're like, really? She's super tall. I'm like, well, yeah. And then they'll look at me and Daniel and they're like, really? I mean, she's going to be like a basketball player. Our youngest daughter is
huge.
huge. She's only, at this time that we're recording this, she is knocking on 3 months old, and she's already filling out 6-month-old clothes, like, very snugly. She's a big baby. And if you ever see us, you will not understand how that occurred. But I digress. The next morning, Chucky orders Andy to skip school and take the Chicago L train downtown. While Andy is distracted, Chucky sneaks into Eddie's house and kills him by causing a gas explosion. The only thing I had to say, me and Daniel both said this while we were watching this earlier, is this kid's carrying a giant-ass doll on the subway, on the L, and he's walking through, like, really rough areas of Southside Chicago with one of the most popular toys that is out right then and there. That kid would have gotten jumped so quickly.
That was kind of part of, like, no one thought anything about this small child with a doll just on a train by himself doing whatever.
I don't think he could have carried it. It's like 10 pounds.
Yeah, Daniel had,
He
that was
carried
his
it for
gripe.
like an hour and a half.
Right.
My kid couldn't carry 10 pounds for an hour and a half.
I
No way.
also like how he's 6, 7 years old or whatever, and he knows how to use the transit system, like, really well. I still get like, wait, where the fuck am I going?
He gets on multiple buses.
Yeah, like this kid.
I mean, you could take it as the fact that Chucky was telling him where to go.
True.
Because you kept seeing him stop and listen to him. That was really the only way I could convince myself that it was actually happening.
Yeah. But I'm like, how did you get the token to get on the train, or what if it was like a train pass back then? Because I'm like, I'm pretty sure they've always cost money, but that's.
I also don't think the stove being on for like 5 minutes would explode the house that much. But...
No, I mean, that house it crumbled into itself when it blew up. That was a bit much.
Andy is again considered a suspect and is admitted to a psychiatric hospital after saying that Chucky is responsible for the murder. When Karen picks up the good guy's box and drops a battery pack, Karen realizes that Chucky has been running without them. So before they go back to the apartment, Andy is in this police interrogation room, which is super illegal, being interrogated. The 6-year-old is being interrogated, saying like, oh, Chucky did it. Chucky did it. My favorite line, though, and we already passed it, is when the mom is talking to Andy and Chucky's sitting in bed with them, and she's like, well, why would you, like, stop saying, like, why you keep saying that Chucky did this? Like, what happened? It was just an accident, right? And she's like, well, Chucky thinks that Aunt Maggie is like a stupid bitch or something like that. Like, he like says this like line where he calls her like this this dumbass bitch or something. It cracks me up, but I digress. So he has no batteries. Karen then lights a fire and threatens to burn Chucky, causing him to violently come to life in her arms. He attacks her before running out of the apartment. Karen chases after him, but Chucky escapes. Karen goes to the police station and explains what happened, but Mike doesn't believe her. Karen finds the peddler and asks for more information about where he found the doll. As the peddler tries to sexually assault her, Mike rescues her and the couple force the peddler to admit that he took the doll from the demolition store. Karen again tries to convince Mike that the doll is alive, but he refuses to believe her, insisting that he killed Charles Lee Ray. After bringing Karen home, Mike is attacked by Chucky, and in the fight that follows, Chucky is shot and he is wounded, and inexplicably bleeds and causes him pain. Chucky runs away from his former voodoo instructor, John, who informs him that the longer Chucky remains in the doll, the more human he will become.
Did you remember that spot that we saw in the alleyway? We were like, what? What was that?
No? Oh, the blowjob?
Yeah, there was like a glory hole.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we were sitting there and we're watching it, and I happened to just like be paying hardcore attention. And I think Daniel was looking at his phone for a hot second. I was like, wow, I didn't remember there being a blowjob of sorts or like a handy hole in Chucky.
A handy hole?
Yeah, there's like a door and then like a little tent
And
that's
this guy
attached to the door. And the guy's like up with both his hands up in the air. And
pressed
all you hear
against
is
it.
moaning. And there's some ruffle on the other side of the door. So something was going down.
Okay.
Wow.
Let me just say this. I don't judge anybody about how they get their kicks, as long as it's consensual. But that just seems kind of uncomfortable. I don't have a penis. Disclosure. So I've never had to stick one in a hole. But like a plywood hole, that doesn't seem to be like ideal.
I don't think it would be.
I feel like there might be some rough edges.
A little vulnerable.
Might be into it.
Might like it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't ever know what these people are into.
We don't. We really don't. And on that note. So Chucky gets injured a bunch. He gets like I think a cigarette in the face. At this point, he gets shot and he's like showing signs of like injuries, and it's very confusing. I was really disappointed that the Haitian voodoo instructor was just simply named John.
Instructor?
Yeah, whatever.
I enjoy that use of that term for that position.
Yeah, well, he's instructing people on how to be voodoos. I'm just
All right,
saying.
guys, this is how you voodoo.
Yeah. You take this doll, you stick a pin in it. But
My name's John.
Yeah.
Voodoo 101 with John.
John has like a bunch of like reptiles in a jar on top of his fridge, and I'm sure there was like a chicken in his apartment that he was going to sacrifice, all this other stuff. And he's like, hey, my name's John. I'm going to teach you some voodoo today in Voodoo 101. I want to know how this all came about. Like, is the Haitian society like really big into voodoo? I don't know. Are there a lot of Haitian voodoo people in Chicago? Are there things I don't know about Chicago that I should have looked into when I visited there?
I found it really odd that he was like, you weren't supposed to use it for that, Chucky.
Yeah,
what the fuck is he supposed to use voodoo for?
What I would have done. Now this
Isn't
is
that like pin cushions and other stuff.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to be ignorant, but like the only like the things that you see in media of voodoo is like curses and like revenge, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever see like positive voodoo.
That's what I was thinking.
Where like they give someone really good luck, or
Here's your lucky pin cushion.
Because like, what's the opposite of like a pin cushion voodoo doll? It's like
here's your positivity doll.
Yeah, like I'm gonna stick this pin in you. You're just gonna have an orgasm like randomly. That's like a positivity voodoo doll. Because what else is there? I'm just saying.
You're right. I don't like to admit it, but you're right.
Exactly. The complete polar opposite of evil voodoo. Orgasmo voodoo.
Orgasmo voodoo. Orgasmadoo.
Orgvoo.
Orgdoo.
Ooh voodoo.
Vugasmo.
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 There it is. Or my favorite, ooh voodoo.
Ooh voodoo.
I'm sticking with it. I kind of like it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Anyway, so yeah, Chucky's all pissed. He's like, fucking John. And then he beats the shit out of John. Chucky demands. Okay, hold on, real quick. Actually, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw voodoo in media. I think it was in True Blood. Was the last time that she was a fake voodoo, though. She had this like bus and Tara's mom. Have you seen True Blood? Have you watched True Blood, Matt?
Yeah, a couple seasons of it.
All right. It's like in the first like 2 or 3 seasons, but like Tara's mom, to get the demon of alcoholism out of her, goes to this woman in a like broken down van and gives her like some sort of like voodoo Haitian type exorcism to get the demons out of her. And basically she just makes Tara's mom violently throw up, and she like placebo effect thinks that that's, you know, the demons coming out of her. And it just turns out to be kind of just like this fake magic of sorts. Like she just kind of made her drink this, you know, thing that made her like project out vomicillin, as Michael Scott would say. So, I mean, hey, because Dan asked me earlier, he's like, do you believe in voodoo? I don't know. I genuinely don't know if it's real. I don't know if anything's real. This all could be a simulation for all I know. And I'm just screaming into the ether. All the zeros and the ones.
I mean, we kind of are.
Yeah, for sure.
Hello.
I'm going to put an echo. So, Chucky demands that John help him reverse the spell, but John refuses. Chucky grabs a voodoo doll from John and uses it to break his leg and arm. Do you think a voodoo doll has that kind of strength?
I mean, traditionally it does.
Well, he's turning more human, so he's getting strength as the day goes on.
True. But, like, wouldn't the voodoo doll have to be specifically for John, just not like this random doll he picked up and he's just like...
Well, based on the face, I assumed it was made for John. That's what I thought, at least.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe I just missed a part. It's been a minute.
It looked like him.
All right. John reveals that in order to escape the doll, Chucky must transfer his soul to Andy, the first human he was revealed to. Chucky stabs the voodoo doll in the chest and escapes. Karen and Mike arrive shortly after, which I don't think a Chicago detective, looking at you, Mike Norris, would bring a civilian to hunt down a potentially alive doll. I feel like he'd be like, you go back to your house. I'll handle this.
He was also hitting on her like the first night. Like, you gonna call me?
Yeah, your friend just died, but you want to call me? People meet each other in the weirdest ways.
They really do.
Nothing says romance like murder. Karen and Mike arrive shortly after. Before dying, John tells them that although Chucky is a doll, his heart is fully human at this point and vulnerable to fatal injuries. Very convenient. Chucky arrives at the hospital where Andy is being held. Chucky kills a doctor, and in the process, Andy escapes and flees home. Chucky follows him and knocks him unconscious. As Chucky prepares to possess him, Karen and Mike arrive to stop him. Chucky cuts Mike's leg, but then Karen throws him into the fireplace. Andy drops a lit match on it, burning Chucky. Karen and Andy leave the room to help Mike, but a charred Chucky escapes from the fireplace and chases Andy. Now, this is probably the only part of the film that I could see like people being like, oh shit, that's kind of like unsettling to see this like fucking doll that's all charred, like with a knife coming at you. That seems a little unsettling. I would not personally like to look in my door frame off, you know, Mike right here and just see a doll standing wielding a knife. I would use Daniel as a human shield.
I'll kill it.
Cool. Just know your place. Karen and Andy leave the room to help Mike, but a charred Chucky escapes from the fireplace and chases Andy. Karen shoots Chucky multiple times and is again presumed dead. Mike's partner Jack arrives at the apartment, initially refusing to believe the trio's story. Chucky's body suddenly bursts through a vent to strangle Jack. During the fight, Mike shoots Chucky in the heart and eventually defeats him. Jack tells him that no one would believe him before leaving the room with Mike, Karen, and Andy. And that, my friends, is Chucky. Well, Child's Play, I should say, because they do not call it Chucky for a while. I think until Bride of Chucky.
Which is the fourth one, right?
It's Child's Play 1, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3. Then it goes to Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and then I think the reboot, Chucky. The reboot is Child's Play.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yep.
My bad.
Yeah, you're right.
I have all of them in a collection on my Plex, and I saw them all today. I don't think I have Cult of Chucky, but I was reading about it. I can't imagine. I can't imagine Seed or Cult being good.
Oh, did I watch?
I've seen Bride of Chucky just because I really love Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, maybe I didn't see Curse. Or I didn't see Cult, because I remember Curse because it takes place in like a house.
There's a lot I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. My time is so limited at certain points. It's like,
right.
What do I want to waste my energy watching? If I'm going to do a podcast on it, that's one thing. I'll definitely, that's what I save that for. Because I'm the type of person that has to rewatch the movie before we have these conversations. So if it's really bad, I do not want to waste my time twice, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
I try.
Perfect.
Once in a while.
Because I am perfect.
Perfecto.
Perfection. Perfect. People can't see a thumbs up, Matt.
I know.
So that was the synopsis of Chucky. It's very straightforward. Doll comes to life because of Haitian voodoo. Serial killer tries to kill, tries to get back into a person's body and basically live his life all over again as this small child. A serial killer in a small child's body. What's more terrifying than that? I don't know. So anyway, now that is over, we are gonna go to Questions of the Damned.
Oh.
Now, full disclosure, we record these podcasts at random times, so you hear them months after we have recorded them, for the most part, unless they're fireside chats. But this is actually our first time recording since we've had the baby. So, rusty? Maybe. But the competition fires still burn. You can't see, but I'm doing fire motion.
Embers.
You're a strange person sometimes.
I am. All right, so Questions of the Damned. We're back. Fires of competitions are burning. Dan, you're going to get the first question.
Oh, I'm not ready.
Well, you're going to have to be.
All right.
What was Child's Play originally titled? Batteries Not Included, Good Guy, or Chucky and Andy?
Good Guy. Shit.
I really have no idea, but I'm gonna go with Chucky and Andy. Yeah.
The working title was Batteries Not Included, and then I think Bloody Buddy, but they chose not to use Bloody Buddy because they couldn't use that. They weren't allowed.
You get a Bloody Buddy? You get a Bloody Buddy?
Bloody Buddy. And I don't like Bloody Buddy, to be honest with you. I mean, it rolls off the tongue really nice, but Child's Play, it's different.
Yeah.
I prefer to call these movies the Chucky movies. I think everybody does. Nobody's like, oh, Child's Play, favorite movie. They're like, what the fuck is that? Chucky? I get you.
Chucky 1, Chucky 2, Chucky 3.
All right, Matthew. What film studio bought the rights to the film after MGM and United Artists disowned it due to its subject matter? Universal, Columbia, or Paramount?
Paramount? This is going great.
Columbia.
You guys suck. My God.
Oh boy.
All right, Daniel.
Let's see if I can get on the board.
What was Chucky's original name? He was always called Chucky, Buddy, or Mickey?
Buddy?
Yeah.
I did it.
All right, Matthew. Over the course of how many days does this film take place? 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days?
3 days.
Oh boy, you guys are tied.
Oh crap.
Oh crap, oh crap. All right, Daniel.
What?
Who won a Saturn Award for starring in this movie?
Oh, jeez.
Chris Sarandon, Catherine Hicks, or Brandon Dorff? So basically, the mom, the cop, or Chucky.
The mom?
Fuck.
Oh my God, Daniel, you won. That was the last question because you guys got most of them wrong.
Shut up.
All right, that's a wrap.
And
Oscar
we're done
Madness is
forever.
I still think Matt is beating you in this season. I have not tallied because I refuse to tally.
Look, George. Some child left their doll in the elevator.
Now leave it alone.
Whoever left it there will come back looking for it.
Ugly doll.
Fuck you.
All right, so now that we are done, Questions of the Damned, we head on over to the last and final segment of this episode called Yay, Nay, or Slay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so if you are joining us for the first time or you are a longtime listener, you know that Yay, Nay, or Slay is basically our rating system. Yay, you like the film, you have really no qualms with it, you enjoy it for what it is, you move on with your life. Nay, you've watched it, you don't really care for it, but you're not gonna like completely cry about it. Slay, you fucking hated it, you never want to see it again, it was the worst thing that has ever blessed your eyes. For me, I'm gonna give it a yay. I like the first Child's Play. I remember more of Child's Play 2 for some reason. Just there's like a bunch of scenes in like the classroom with Chucky with a ruler, but I digress. I do really like this movie because it's the darker of all of them. I think because it's the first one, they really didn't know that. I don't think they knew that Chucky was going to go into like more of a comedy horror genre, but I enjoy it for what it was. I think I can see where it made people uncomfortable, like where it could scare people, especially kids. And around that time in the 80s, Cabbage Patch Kids, Buddy dolls, and just dolls in general were really hot ticket items for their kids. So if you don't like dolls in general and you are trying to be, a good mom or a good dad, and you buy an actual life-size doll, I can see where you can be unsettled. But yeah, I give it a yay. Daniel, what about you?
I give it a yanay. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to put this on, but if I walked in and it was on, I would sit down and watch it and wait for it to be over.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
it's not like it's not the scariest movie.
No, it's not scary at all.
I don't think it's scary, but I think as maybe I watch more of the movies as they go on, I'll probably appreciate them a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what not wanting to be like a horror comedy. Like I don't think they ever intended that. You could tell that they took things from other horror movies too. Like the stabbing through the bathroom door was very Shining, like with Jack coming through with the bathroom door with his axe. And even when Chucky is like all charred and stuff and he kind of like rises up, there's this image of like Andy in the left corner and then Chucky in the right. And it reminded me of Terminator. And these are all movies that had come out beforehand. So I can kind of see where they took from other like horror or as James Cameron always wanted to invent the genre of tech noir. I could see where it derived some of its scenes from. But Matthew, what do you think? Yay, nay, or slay?
I mean, yay. It's like one of those classic movies. I do really enjoy it, but I agree with Dan. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way and turn it on ever.
Yeah, for sure.
But if it was on or, I don't even know if it was just on, if I would leave it on or turn something else on. But to your point is like most of what I remember is from the third one. Like the whole paintball scene is what I think of first when I think of Chucky movies or something from Bride of Chucky. Not the original. Like I'd forgot about a lot of what happened in this movie.
Yeah, me too. I remember the opening scene. I remember when he becomes the doll and stuff like that. But like everything in the middle, I completely forgot. That's why when Maggie gets hit in the face with the hammer, I was like, oh my God. Like I was not like I thought maybe, I don't know. I mean, obviously you see someone pick up the hammer and all this other stuff. Yada, yada, yada. I was like, well, he's definitely going to like bash her face in or something, but I just wasn't expecting her to get hit that fucking hard in the goddamn face. But yeah, it is what it is, as I always say.
Right.
But
right.
yeah.
You think she ate that breakfast? The mom?
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
The like 3 pounds of sugar and orange juice.
You'd be so pissed at the mess.
Me? No, I wouldn't. If it was like one time, but if this was like an everyday occurrence where my kids were like, "We're gonna make mom breakfast," and like fucking spilled milk all over the carpet, I was like, "God, I love you guys so much, but please don't eat breakfast. I'm not hungry. I love you."
I saw some internet meme and it was like, "Oh, if you ever question having kids." You're going to wake up one day and they're going to be in your room giving you breakfast in bed, and you're just going to know that there's a mess to clean up in the kitchen.
100%. 100%. Or like you could be like my daughter, who is her own version of a Chucky doll sometimes, because she can be like an absolute creep. My oldest daughter, that we have a camera, like a monitor / camera in her room, just because, like, you know, just safety and all that stuff. And we have a newborn, so when she's in there, I want to make sure that, like, you know, everybody's all content and all that. But there have been some times where, like, I'll get a notification like, oh, there's movement in the room, and if it happens once, I just assume like she's flopped over in bed and it just picked her up. But if it's like occurring like every like few seconds, I'm like, okay, she's awake. I've opened up the camera to see what she's doing, and sometimes she's literally like standing on top of her bed, flush against the wall, just staring at the camera. And the camera makes her have those like animalistic like white eyes, so it literally is
demon child.
It's like they live. It's so horrifying. I'm
ready for her to just jump at the camera.
Exactly, just like straight out of like The Ring. It's horrifying.
You're just gonna hear.
Or, you know, I've woken up and it'll be like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I'll like go to the bathroom, and her door is like right at the bathroom, and she'll just be standing there with her door open, not saying a word, just at her gate, because we have her gated so she doesn't like fall down the stairs in the dark. And it's the scariest thing when a tiny person just comes up on you and is just either silent and just staring, or they're just like, "Hey, mom," and like,
"What are you doing?"
Oh yeah, she loves to do that. She'll just come up and be like, I don't know, or she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I have yelped and like jumped 10 feet in the air before, because like she walks like a little ninja.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hear her sometimes. And when I need to put a bell on her. Honestly, put a bell like on her sock so I can hear her coming.
That's one way to handle it.
Or she'll just continue to scare the shit out of me. I don't know if it's because like we watched a horror movie, but earlier today Daniel was doing something, and like I think something either dropped or he like ripped off a piece of siding on the house, because we were in the process of getting our house redone. And it was like against a wall that I was near, and it scared me so bad. I screamed in a way that I have never screamed before, because I just didn't know what was happening. I was shocked you actually didn't come running in and be like, "What the hell's wrong?"
I didn't hear it.
Oh, it was loud. But I digress. Well, that's Chucky. Well, that's Child's Play. Child's Play. That's Child's Play. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. It's probably not the longest one that we've done, but there's really not much to talk about with this movie. It's very straightforward. I think you should watch it. That's my opinion. If you like horror movies, slasher films, this is one that you kind of have to watch. You know, he's not on par with, you know, Jason or Freddy or even Michael, but he is his own little special guy. He's a good guy, but not really.
He's a buddy.
He's a buddy. He's definitely a buddy.
Bloody buddy.
But thank you so much for listening to this episode of Monster Madness. Please, like we said before, hit us up on the socials and come on over to our Twitch and our Discord. We have a really good time. On our Discord, we talk about everything under the sun, games, food, drinks, if you're into that, and Creed. We talk about Creed a lot. Yep. The band. Not like, you know, an act of contrition type deal.
Or the boxing movies.
Or the boxing movies, which they in themselves are monster movies.
Popular character from The Office.
I would talk about Creed Bratton all time.
Well, yeah, so would I.
We should make a new podcast. Creedster Madness. No?
All we do is talk about Creed Bratton.
No, where we just talk about just Creed in general.
Anything
Creed. Anything. No, that'll just be the name of the podcast. Anything Creed.
Anything Creed.
You heard it here first, folks. In the works. But not really. I don't have the time. Thank you so much for listening. Please come say hi. We want to talk to you. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?